In 1977, the Alwyn Wall Band backed up Larry Norman on his world tour. So I put together some pictures here of the part that we did in Sweden. This is the front cover of the program that we're looking at, and this was the pictures on the inside. He sent us some cassette tapes, and we learned music from those, and then he came over for a while and we got the songs together. Alwyn Wall Band did the first set, and then we stayed on and played music for Larry. This was an ad for this tour with us, and I can't remember the magazine that was in. Maybe if somebody watching this, they can post a comment and say which magazine this was, but I thought it was kind of a nice ad. We thought we'd hit the big time because we actually had a bus, and the guy on the left there, I think his name was Roger, he was the driver for the bus, and the other guy drove the van, and for some reason I don't have any, we had a truck with a whole bunch of PA equipment in, and I don't seem to have any pictures of that. This is Roger the driver again, and this time we're on the ferry. We went from Dover to Göteborg, I think it was, Gothenburg. And I remember it was kind of a nice ferry. It was a lot better than the ones I'd been on before. This is the band on our bus. The bus was great because we really got to crash out. We got to discuss things, play games, just generally relax. It had a bathroom on there too, which made it all very convenient. That's Nick that you're seeing at the front of the picture there, and then Tony towards the back. The guy in the middle there is Norman Miller, our manager. This is Alwyn. I'm not quite sure why he's making the face, but you know, if you're in a band and anybody makes a face, it's a good time to take a picture. So a lot of the pictures that I'm going to show you are just kind of things that I snapped away at. Every time somebody changed for a gig, I would snap a photo. So if Alwyn gets to see this, I'm sure he's going to be really pleased that I put this photo up of him getting ready for the gig. Now, we stayed at a chain of hotels, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name, but we parked outside the hotel. We parked the bus, the whole thing, and we would sleep there, do the gig. Next morning, you get on the bus, and then you go to the next one. Because all of the this one looks different, but most of them were the same. They looked the same. You would often forget which hotel you were in and which place you were at. We did have a great facilities everywhere we went. People looked after us very well. This is a dressing room. Somewhere in one of the gigs, I can't remember. That's Norm on the back there, back couch, with his hair looking very long for some reason. But I would take a picture of whoever I could find. This is Larry out on the street with Norman Miller on the right, who was the manager for Alwyn Wall Band. Norman really was responsible for getting us most of these gigs and getting us into the situation where we were doing some pretty neat stuff around the world. And once again, if somebody pulls a face, I'm going to take a picture. So I got probably the only picture of Larry Norman pulling a face. Looked over by Nick Brotherwood on the left, who was the drummer of the Alwyn Wall Band. Norman Miller at the back, who, as I said previously, was the manager. Larry brought with him a photographer. I guess he would need lots of photographs for various publicity events, and I'm going to say it was at least a good week of this tour, maybe more, where I think his name was Don. So, Don, if you're out there, let me know. This is kind of fuzzy picture of Nick once again. I don't know why I have so many pictures of the band with no shirts on, but I apologize for that, and I apologize to the guys in the band. Once they see this, they're probably going to be horrified. But every time somebody took a shirt off, I would take a picture. Larry's there with his wife, Pamela. I'm not sure who's getting on the bus there, but this is outside the hotel, and we would pile on this bus and then we'd hit the road and get on to the next gig. I do remember the gig in Sweden particularly because It was the night of the day we arrived at the port, and when we drove from London to Dover, the bus and the band made the ferry, and the guys with the equipment did not. In fact, I remember we sailed off, and we could see our equipment and the van still on the dock. So this equipment you're looking at here, which is a place in Stockholm, I can't remember the name of this place, but we had to hire this or borrow, beg, steal, and borrow, as they say, to get this equipment together so we could do the gig. And this is Alwyn and Norman Miller looking out over what we had and playing through completely different and new equipment. It's not something we would really want to do, but as I remember rightly, the gigs went off pretty well, and the next day our crew caught up with us. This is Tony Hudson, who played bass, and this is a picture on the ferry crossing. As you can see, the boat was pretty well equipped, and we enjoyed the ride.